on to the next Lyft topic, and that is the
This is big.
70-30 hocus pocus. And
Hold
what's
on.
going on?
Hocus pocus. There it
There
is.
you go.
Apple juice. Apple juice. I'm gonna drink this whole thing during this segment because there's so much hocus pocus going on here that, in fact, Chris is going to explain this to you guys because I don't think I can. I'm just going to read what the Vegas driver sent me this. So again, guys, gals, if you receive something, if you see something like this, please send it to me, because then we can accelerate this or elevate this. So
basically what's happening is, for the last several weeks, we have seen the trip receipts change after the ride has completed, and another day or so that's been added to it. A couple of hours has been the shortest that we've seen, but usually the next day you'll see the estimated external fees and the estimated Lyft fee completely change. So this is from a driver, you said in Vegas, right?
Yep.
All right, so there's more Lyft 70-30 guaranteed hocus pocus. You've covered this, and I want to add last night's ride to a pile of examples. Only did one Lyft ride last night. Indeed, only one Lyft ride all week. So example is stark. My screenshot immediately after the ride was done shows I'm at 49% for Lyft 70-30 after the external BS. This morning, it changed to 55% as Lyft's external fees moved from 564 to 711, literally and figuratively overnight. It's all there below. As you pointed out, this can figure into any adjustment at week's end, multiply by 1 million drivers. Thanks for all that you do. So let's go to the screenshots, and basically you can see this is the screenshot that he took, and it shows he earned $10.98. The passenger paid $19.84. The external fees was taken out with 711. The Lyft fee was $572. He got a $3.97 tip, so he got a total earning of $10.98. But obviously, when it comes to 730, tips are not included into the 70-30 guarantee. So the passenger payment after external fees was $14.19, which is 40, and then his earnings was $701, which is 49%, and then the Lyft fee was 51%. Actually, I think these might be out of order. Oh yeah, my bad. They're out of order. So the first screenshot on the left, then the one on the right is the one that I think is correct.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. All right. Either way, and then yeah, so it's switched up again. So instead of 711, it's 564 for the external fees. The Lyft fee went from 572 to 719. So quite crazy there. And then what does this all mean? Why are we harping on this?
Can I put my 2 cents in here? Let me, I know you did this work. Let me put my 2 cents in. First of all, Lyft. External fees and Lyft service fee should be set in stone after the trip is done. I need an explanation why it even changes by a penny. When we slide it over and the trip is finished, and your algo figures out external fees and Lyft service fee, these were taken 2 days apart. None of those numbers should change. Because the numbers changed, his 70-30 split numbers changed. Lyft, you cannot do this. This is literally illegal. You cannot do that. When a trip is over, it's final. Numbers should be final. You can't come around overnight and adjust those numbers for your hocus pocus. Cheers, everyone. And so now Chris will explain the rest of it.
Okay, so yeah, so when you break it down on the first screenshot, this driver's earnings was 49%, and Lyft's estimated fee was 51%. And then on the second screenshot, it changed to where the driver was at 55% and the Lyft fee was 45%. So basically that 70-30 top off would be adjusted. So as you can see on the first one, the Lyft 70-30 adjusted, which would be 70% for the driver, should have paid him, instead of $7.01, should have paid him $9.93 for this particular ride. So the top off would be $2.92. So if this is the only ride that he gave all week, that top off should be $2.92. But magically, with the hocus pocus that they give, overnight when it shifted, their glitch 70-30 adjusted, now says that the 70% should only be $8.91 for the driver, and the top off should only be $1.90. So that means the top off drops by $1.02 just because of these numbers being fudged. So it's all arbitrary, it's all bullshit, and they are claiming whatever they want when it comes to these numbers, and it's probably going to be very close to that 70/30, so your top off payment will be next to nil. One thing I always say is work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, then you may be working harder. So let's change that. Download the app, link your accounts where you can manage your income, track your expenses, and project your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download Solo and begin to work smarter, not harder today. Link is in the description. All right, let's get back to it.
Yeah, because of the adjustments that happen after the fact, literally 24 hours after, they're able to adjust to 70/30. And I told this driver, I said, take one for the team. Don't do another trip, because if he had just done, so far he had done just that trip on Lyft, and the numbers changed, it should not change. Now, Jeff said something here that I disagree with. Why don't they just delay the detailed part of the receipt until the estimated fees become actual fees? Estimated fees have already become actual fees when I end the trip. We're done. We're set in stone. You sent me that receipt first. 24 hours later, you cannot go toggle off or switch those numbers around to make it fit your accounting. I don't care about that. What I care about is this driver. Now we're going to wait until his top off comes. If his top off, as Chris calculated here, is $1.02 less, if his top off is actually off the second number of the 55%, and they're going to only give him $1.90, and $1.02 is going to disappear into the abyss, you multiply that times a million drivers, and this is just on a single trip. Now, I don't know how many times this will happen, on multiple millions on trips, right? So Lyft, we need to talk. You said the glitch was fixed because it was just when tips were showing up. Here's the question to Lyft. Why are external fee line items and service fee line items interchangeable, and why do they change after 24 hours while the trip is over 24 hours before? Those should not change. Nothing should facilitate the change of those two line items. Because it changes, the 70/30 top off numbers change, Lyft. We're not stupid. We got good math here. That's fuzzy math from the start. Now we're going to get down to the nitty gritty and we're going to figure this out. This should not be allowed. Should not be. If your systems are bad, you have a lot of backtracking and calculating to do, because you will probably owe drivers a ton of money. So we're going to figure this out. So if you're running into this kind of situation, guys, please send me the screenshots with an explanation like that driver. Sergio at the rideshareguy.com. Look, man, I didn't start this to be an investigative journalist, but I'm happy to do it. My math is still really, really good. I'm pretty sharp. So you guys need to feed me all this stuff, because I don't want them to come back and say it's an edge case or blah, 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 all that stuff, right? Even if it's an edge case, I'm not buying it, because the external fees and service fee changed, his percentages changed, and his top off is going to change. It's like a chain reaction.
Yep.
So send me your screenshot.
Changing at all.
Shouldn't change at all. No.
All right. So biggest takeaway from that is screenshot your trip receipts right after it's done with trip. Go back in the next day. Go back in 2 days after. See what is there. If those two numbers have changed, whether it's a tip or not, because we've seen it with a tip.
Nothing to do with
a tip. Where it's changed. So tip doesn't necessarily matter at this point, because, like I said, we've seen them on both ends. But yeah, go in, screenshot them all, and better yet, write down every single thing, so then what should you be topped off if you are under that 70/30, and if you're over the 70/30 and you don't get a top off, well, then that's that. But yeah, double check everything just to make sure, because you can't trust these companies at all.
Yeah, absolutely. So same here. That's because the one number that doesn't change is what Lyft pay me. Not so, Jeff, Because in this driver's case, the top off is going to be less because the numbers change and the 70/30 is not going to fit. So you guys got to think a little deeper than that. Don't just slap some comment like this guy says, we already knew they're stealing. You have proof? You know, come with proof. So I'm just going to dig into this because I think this is an ongoing problem and it's not fixed, and we'll see what we can do.
Yep. All right. With that being said, let's move on to another topic from Lyft, but this is actually pretty decent. And this is Lyft is adding a rider tipping percentage right on the upfront screen, which is actually kind of nice to see.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to argue with you, Jeff. The credit card fees are 3%. On that trip, external fees changed. On a $19 trip, external fees changed over $2. 3% over, credit card fee is not $2. It's like 40 cents. You cannot make it fit for Lyft, Jeff. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, trust me. If I'm saying it doesn't make sense, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure though even on tip adjusted, because it's not batch closed yet, you don't close it out until you do your batch. So you may swipe it at the time and it's in holding, but it's not closed. So that means it's not charged. So the tip that's added.
Chris, I have a simple question. Lyft, I know you're watching this. All I want to know, why are the numbers changing? Just give me an explanation. Like you gave me an explanation, Lyft. When the tip showed up, optically numbers were changing. And as you said, it was a glitch. You said it was fixed. Okay, give me an answer. Why are numbers changing on external fees and Lyft service fee 24 hours after the trip is over? That's all I'm asking. So
and then the biggest thing is, as you see in the math, the way it would work out, that 70/30 guarantee will change, which means what the driver should have been paid based on the original receipt at the end of the trip is not the same 24 hours later. That means they're getting $1 less. So if they're going to nickel and dime drivers even more, putting it at $1 or more, extrapolate that over multiple trips. Let's say they're charging whatever they want really at that point, and then they're just going to adjust this and slide the 70/30 to be exactly where they want it. So then they don't even have to pay a top off, but yet you are supposed to get the top off. Just a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the math behind 70/30 and how drivers are now making less under 70/30 because they're extrapolating the external fees, and then they're going to say, oh yeah, you get a 70/30, which means it put them at what, 52% of the fare, and so instead of 41% or whatever it was, that graphic that you pulled up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to know where your money's going, and if you're getting paid properly, then yeah, it matters.
Because the top off is advertised as the fairest in the land, and it has been. Oh, we have a great 70/30 guarantee after external expenses, which we don't know what the external expenses are anyway or how they calculate it. But now we have the problem of them shifting after the trip is over, going up, going down, going up, which is affecting the ultimate 70/30 guarantee that Lyft is offering. That's the question. So how many drivers, Mike says, there's always some naysayers, you know what I mean? Here's this guy. The guy goes, we know they're messing with top off payment. Okay, but that comes days and weeks later. It doesn't come days and weeks later. It comes exactly a week later. How many drivers can truly audit? We don't need that many drivers. We need a handful, just like we did with the Prop 22, just like we did with the EV shaving, where there is no smoke, there is no fire. If I smell smoke, I'm looking for fire. And when I do get the fire, and when you guys do get the adjustment in your accounts without an explanation, in many cases that you do because of the work we're doing, you guys don't even know what's going on, right? So there's two choices here. You either give up and say, screw it, we know they're stealing, or you dig and you get you some money. Do you want your money? Do you know you've been screwed by how many dollars, Mike? You obviously don't have a clue, do you? Go ahead and audit your numbers. Pay attention. That's why we do the shows here. So you guys are aware of what's going on and become eyes and ears and send me screenshots. Once you send me the screenshots, then we can do something with it.
Yep. And you can't just say it's an edge case, which even in this case, shouldn't be. Exactly. So, yep, we're going to keep up on this and see what's going on. And Lyft, we're definitely researching and making sure that drivers are paid fairly for the guarantee that you claim. So if you're going to be fudging the numbers, I know quite a few people who will be interested in looking at that, and I don't have a problem talking to them.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.